From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A pleasant evening. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
Hello there. Good evening. I'm Niket Karunaratne. We'll start off with the headlines as usual. The Sri Lanka Chamber of Commerce informs the President that it is ready for the promotion in the export and tourism sectors with the normalization of the country under the vaccination program. Another consignment of 728,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine is scheduled to arrive in the island next Saturday. Further increase in the number of daily corona-infected persons in India. Minister Kahiliya Ramukwala requests all electronic and printed media to allocate more opportunities at this moment for the education of children. A special program to identify and promote investment opportunities. The Presidential Media Division is ready to convey accurate and comprehensive data on the Saubhagya Dakma program from tomorrow. The body of the child Ishalini is to be exhumed on the 30th of this month. On to those and other stories in detail. The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce assured President Gotabaya Rajapaksa that it is eager to promote a number of sectors, including exports and tourism, as soon as the country returns to normalcy with its vaccination drive. The newly elected office bearers of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce stated this at a meeting held with the President at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday. The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce was established in 1839 and currently it has 560 member companies. The regional chambers of commerce have expanded to cover all parts of the country. The investors are discouraged by some of the laws and regulations that are in effect. The President said one of the main objectives of the government is to remove such obstacles and to encourage exports by preventing corruption and malpractices through the introduction of digitalization. The President said that the government's responsibility is to create employment opportunities and pointed out the need to provide opportunities for the new generation to come forward as entrepreneurs and business persons. The President has implemented the policies listed in the Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor National Policy Framework amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The CCC points out that it can contribute to the rapid development of the economy through the policy framework. The officials said the national agenda committees of the CCC have paid special attention to the government's programs implemented to promote sustainable energy, agriculture and the field of technology.
First of all, I also must congratulate you in making sure the vaccinations are now in full force, and I think that's a great blessing for the private sector. At least people can get back to work, and that's really helping us. I think we have a good opportunity even with the UK Excellency to do a free trade, because now they're doing lots of free trades because they have come out of the European Union.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a good thing for us to work with a free trade agreement even with the UK, because we are a large exporter to the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And we can increase our exports if we can take out some of the obstacles in between and promote our exports, because I think that's the only, going forward,
Yeah.
we need export and tourism together to
Yeah.
keep bringing in the foreign exchange
Yeah.
into the country. So our thrust from the chamber will be continuously working towards getting more exports and pushing the tourism, because I think a lot of infrastructure has been put in the last few years for tourism. So now I think it's best time to use those infrastructure. And I want the Excellency, even the road system is developing very fast, so that also will only increase us within the country moving around quickly and getting things done.
I think with the vaccinations now, tourism can finally start to recover, and the vaccinations are progressing well in other countries as well. And I think given some of the issues we are having around foreign exchange earnings, tourism can be a way to quickly recover on that front.
Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara, Economic Policies and Plan Implementation Ministry Secretary Anusha Palpita, former Chairman of Ceylon Chamber of Commerce Hans Vijay Surya, new Chairman V. Govindasamy and the new office bearers of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce were also present.
Minister of Health Pavitra Vanniyarachi says that Sri Lanka is scheduled to receive 728,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine on next Saturday under the COVID immunization program. Up to now, 10,119,124 vaccines have been inoculated on the general public. Minister Pavitra Vanniyarachi adds that AstraZeneca stocks of vaccines will come under a grant of COVAX Foundation. This stock will be inoculated as the second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine on those who have earlier received the first dose. Japan intends to hand over to Sri Lanka a total of 1,470,000 AstraZeneca vaccines. As a result of difficulties encountered in the reservation of the aircraft, only half the doses are scheduled to arrive on next Saturday. State Minister Professor ChannelEye Rupavahini said that the remaining stock is scheduled to reach the island in a few days after Saturday. The State Minister also said that upon delivery of the vaccine as the second dose on people in waiting, the rest will be deployed in the vaccination program in the Kegol district. It has also been reported that 2,120,862 doses of vaccines have been delivered on the people in the past 7 days. 380,463 doses have been administered yesterday alone. According to a report released yesterday, the percentage of the population over the age of 30 years who have received at least one dose of the vaccine has increased to 71.58. The highest number of vaccines have been inoculated in the Western Province, which amounted to 87.82%. The percentage of vaccination in the Colombo district was at 83.67 and in Gampaha district 93.25. The percentage in the Kalaturu district was at 85.67. The highest percentage of inoculation of 99.13 was reported from Mathale district. In the Kandy district, the percentage was at 97.08 and in the Hambantota district 87.12. The Mathale district has recorded a percentage of 81.69 and in Mannar district 79.55. Inoculation of expatriate workers registered in the Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau and who are scheduled to leave the island has commenced at the Army Hospital Narahempita today. Accordingly, 1,200 persons have been vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine. The expatriate persons who have received job licenses for foreign employment are able to receive the vaccine after registering themselves in the website of the Foreign Employment Bureau, www.slbfe.lk. A group including Minister Nimaru Siripala de Silva has inspected the vaccination program today. 1,380 COVID-19 patients were detected from the country today. Meanwhile, 1,499 patients left the hospital today following recovery.
Chief Epidemiologist Dr. Samita Ginige says that preventive measures are the key to avoid a further spread of the COVID-19 outbreak despite its mutation. He added that the island-wide vaccination programs are conducted at a successful manner and urged the public, especially the elderly population, to receive the vaccine to be protected from the coronavirus.
We have started third outbreak from 15th of April onwards. Since then, we have observed the rapid increase of the cases. That increase lasted till end of May. End of May onwards, we have seen some, but very slow, steady, gradual reduction. But even for last 2-3 weeks, we are stagnating our daily reported cases somewhere around 1,500 to 1,700 cases we are reporting. Same time, we have started vaccination programs, rolled out in a very successful manner. Up to now, country has received nearly 13.8 million vaccines and we have vaccinated 10.1 million people we vaccinated altogether. Coverage wise, I think nationally above 30 coverage is somewhere around 68.4 with single dose coverage. A 2-dose coverage is somewhere around 16.3. But the vaccination program is going on. The key message we want to convey you all is to encourage people, needy people, because still our nearly 80% of the deaths are occurred above 60 years of age population. Other than that, 80% of the deaths reported among people with other comorbidities. These are the people need to get vaccination. Please promote them to get their vaccination because through free health system we are having vaccine. Now currently there is no much rush even in the vaccination centers. Take this opportunity and some or the other give the public the message. Elderly people need to get vaccination as well as the people with other comorbid. Everything is currently available evidence, because this is an evolving subject, everything is changing with more and more evidence. Whatever the available evidence, but all the vaccines currently which we are using are effective against Delta variant. Because of that, I think that's some consolation, but still main issue is that today's in the globalization concept, one country can't protect that particular territory with particular brand, because even a strong mutated viral strain started, it will spread rapidly to all over the country, because even that Delta is not in the India, but even in the US, nearly 20% of the caseload is due to Delta. Because of that, globally, cases will come. Because of that, I think we have to take maximum measures. We have already taken to protect importation of the thing, but inevitable to avoid 100% invasion of the virus. Anyway, now because of the random sampling technique which we used, we have found Delta viruses in certain clusters reported. But main key message I think we have to convey to the public is whether it's a Delta or Alpha, I think preventive measures are same. Sometimes I think our people also now getting a Delta strain as some excuse, but it's not excuse, but we have to practice our day-to-day protective measures, as far as if we are wearing the mask properly, washing hand and making a proper distance and avoid unnecessary gathering. That's the same preventive measures will applicable for Delta also. Luckily, vaccination program is rolled out. That's going to be additional support for us, but that's alone not enough. We have to further strengthen our basic preventive measures. If we are practice our basic preventive measures with this vaccination, I think Delta virus may not be a big, anyway, it's going to be a challenge, but I think whatever we can neutralize it up to a reasonable level.
Deputy Director General of Health Services, Dr. Hemantha Herat, says that an integrated patient care system has been introduced to support the existing health system in the country during a potential adverse situation related to COVID-19. He said that measures were taken to develop and maintain this pilot project, though the country has been reporting declining number of corona-related cases at present.
There has been reports about keeping COVID-19 positive patients at home, and I want to inform that there is a pilot project going on in the Western Province, which initiated a few weeks ago when there was a rapid increase of daily cases reported from the country, where we had a fear of exceeding the existing capacity to treat these patients, and in case if there is any unexpected situation where the hospital capacity is likely to go beyond their own capabilities, we had developed an alternative system to look after at least asymptomatic patients outside the hospital setup, for which we have introduced this integrated patient care system on a pilot basis to keep or develop a system and keep it alive in the unlikely event of an unexpected situation where high number of or excessively high number of cases reporting from the country. So this system is kept alive throughout the past, even though there is a decline of patients, relative decline, because we should not disband this system, because again, in case of if the need arises, again establishing it is a little difficult process. So therefore, even at this moment, this pilot project is going on, and there are patients kept at home and looked after through this system. So therefore, I would like to inform the public that don't get unnecessarily worried about keeping these patients. There is a system through which their general condition is monitored, and if somebody gets any complications or illness becomes worse, they will be immediately transferred to the nearest hospital, and therefore the required care will be given. However, even at this moment, since this pilot project is going on, this can happen where the COVID-19 patient could be kept at home. If you have any clarifications or any concerns, please contact the MOH of your area and get the things clarified. They will be able to tell you the exact position.
Clinical psychiatrist and senior lecturer at the Sir John Kodulawala Defence University, Tina Solomon, says that it is important to take necessary measures to prevent the occurrence of mental depression in children restricted to houses in the face of the corona pandemic.
There appears to be a lot of psychological consequences of the pandemic among children and also among parents. What we recommend at present is to have a structured environment for children at home, so that their level of anxiety, their level of stress will be less, and they will feel secured. When you have a structure, children feel secure. So maintain a structure and encourage your children to participate in more hobbies, enjoyable activities at home.
Police media spokesman Senior DIG Ajit Rohana says that police have taken 124 persons into custody during the last 24 hours for violating quarantine regulations. Accordingly, a total of 52,401 persons have been arrested thus far for such violations.
124 persons have been arrested in connection with the offences of quarantine rules and regulations. 60 out of 124 have been arrested in respect of the offences of face mask. Total number of 52,401 persons have been arrested in connection with the same offences, and we are conducting continuous quarantine operations across the country in order to apprehend the suspect who violate quarantine rules and regulations. We are conducting 13 roadblocks at the entry and exit points of Western Province, and total number of 5,955 persons have been checked by the officers of the roadblock. In addition to that, 117 persons have been sent back to their original places along with 78 vehicles as they were trying to cross the provincial border without permission. General public are not allowed to cross provincial borders. However, they can cross the provincial border to attend a funeral of their close relatives or for medical treatment. So therefore, everyone should adhere with quarantine rules and regulations all the times, and Sri Lanka police are conducting quarantine operations constantly.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says Sri Lankans engaged in foreign employment is a source of strength to the country. He made these remarks participating via video technology from the temple trees on the occasion of the opening of the Kurunegala Regional Consular Office of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs yesterday. The consular office is located on the third floor of the probation building in the Kurunegala town. Minister Dinesh Gunawardena has unveiled the commemoration plaque at the opening ceremony. Minister Johnston Fernando and North-Western Province Governor Attorney-at-Law Raja Kollure have also participated in the event. Consular offices have already been set up in the districts of Jaffna and Matara. Families of migrant workers in the Kurunegala district are being provided facilities through the new office. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that they should fulfill their obligations on behalf of the Sri Lankan expatriate community who bring a massive amount of foreign exchange to the country. They migrate in search of foreign employment, not to lead a luxury life. Their aim is to strengthen their families and to give a proper education to their children. The Prime Minister added that he believed that they would become a strength to the nation. He also said that they are aware that the Sri Lankan migrant workers have to encounter numerous problems in their The Prime Minister added that there is only one place to gain any information on expatriates in the overseas who are missing to their families. And that place is the consular office. The Prime Minister also said that large groups arrive at the Colombo office. As a result, it may not be possible to fulfill their needs within a day. The Prime Minister has added that they have decided to set up a North-Western consular office by taking into consideration of their grievances. He further said that they are doing all these activities amidst COVID control and vaccination programs. The government has given prominence to the task of saving the lives of the people. Some are against the carrying forward development programs. Such people have only political motives and they have no feeling towards the people. The Prime Minister also said that in the meantime, some groups are attempting to pressurize the government as much as possible by demanding unjust concessions. The people must realize that the entire world is confronting an epidemic and the government is engaged in maximum efforts to grant relief to the people.
Minister Dr. Keheliya Rambukwalla requests media institutions to give prominence to the educational needs of the children of the country at this moment. He also calls upon such institutions to allocate more opportunities for these activities through electronic and printed media. A long-term program is to be prepared in this connection within the next 2 or 3 months. Minister Dr. Keheliya Rambukwalla was addressing officials of the Ministries of Mass Media and Education. Minister of Education Professor G.L. Piris and State Minister Susil Premajayantha were also present on the occasion. The Minister of Mass Media has requested the media institutions to commence implementing their programs within a week until the inauguration of a separate channel for education. The Minister has added that several state and private media institutions have already extended effective contributions to fulfill the educational requirements of children at a national obligation, setting aside commercial objectives. It has been reiterated at a recent cabinet meeting that the program should be basically centered upon fulfilling the objectives of the Grade 5 Scholarship Examination and the GCE Ordinary and Advanced Level Examinations. As a preliminary measure in this connection, all non-essential programs will be provisionally withdrawn to cater to the needs of basic educational teaching programs. It has also been agreed at the meeting to immediately establish a radio channel especially reserved for education. A committee comprising of officials of relevant ministries has also been appointed for the successful implementation of the learning process via mass media. Minister Dr. ChannelEye Rupavahini said that the Ministry of Education as well as the Ministry of Mass Media have a responsibility to join hands with this productive and practical program. He added that the state media channel should focus special attention on the success of the teaching program to be conducted on the Grade 5 stream. Similar attention should be focused on the ordinary and advanced level examinations as well. The minister further said that the new program could be commenced next week through the amalgamation of the two state TV channels and the broadcasting channel. Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media, Jagat P. Vijayveera, and heads of several media institutions have attended the discussion.
A systematic and joint methodology has been prepared to promote the investment opportunities that have been subjected to the attention. As fields of national prominence, Minister Basil Rajapaksa has presided over a special discussion on the program at the Ministry of Finance today. The program prepares the necessary background for the implementation of projects and for the speedy identification of numerous sectors which could attract investments, including the fields of abundant investment opportunities, including fisheries and pharmaceuticals. It is also hoped to prepare a meaningful propaganda mechanism to enlighten local and foreign investors on such identified fields. Attention has also been focused on the provision of extensive facilities to the investors through the formation of an inter-coordination program among state institutions. State Minister Ajit Niwad Kabral, Secretary to the Ministry of Finance S.R. Artigala, and a group connected to the investment sector have also attended the meeting. Minister Basil Rajapaksa has also conducted a meeting with custom officials and representatives of institutions related to the maintenance of custom services at the Ministry of Finance today. The discussion has focused attention on the difficulties confronted by the institutions which constantly engage in activities with the customs and also on practical problems faced by Sri Lanka custom officials in their professional duties. It has also dealt in depth on the streamlining of the income generation process. Minister Basil Rajapaksa has extended his thanks to the custom officials for being continuously engaged in the income generation program amidst the COVID pandemic. The government strives to provide necessary facilities to the workers in order to perform their services in a satisfied manner. The minister has also expressed hope that the custom officials would continue to provide a quality and efficient service to the customers. Facts have also been presented to the measures to facilitate trade through the Sri Lanka customs. The program enables to introduce a new and efficient clearing procedure and to perform the activities with the attendance of a least number of employees. The latest data system has been prepared to estimate the value of imported goods. This has enabled to enhance revenue and to perform a more efficient service. State Minister Ajit Niwad Kabral, Secretary to the Ministry of Finance S.R. Artigala, Director General of Customs, as well as representatives of customs trade unions have also participated in the meeting.
Minister Namal Rajapaksa met with the Secretary of the Sri Lanka-Japan Parliamentarians Friendship League, Yuko Obuchi. The meeting was held in line with the Sports Minister's recent visit to Japan. The meeting highlighted the strong people-to-people connection and the continued friendship during successful administrations between Sri Lanka and Japan. The Secretary to the Sri Lanka-Japan Parliamentarians Friendship League, who had visited Sri Lanka many times, recalled her experiences with the Sri Lankan people, the country's beauty and the potential Sri Lanka possesses. The minister emphasized the special friendship Sri Lanka enjoys with Japan under current administration. The minister suggested the improving of the sister city concept between the two countries. The parliamentarians further discussed on how they would continue to improve tourism and investments between the two countries by reciprocally recognizing a vaccine passport system. Both parliamentarians discussed the importance of ease of doing business, and the minister briefed the secretary on the current ongoing digitalization process of the government services and the law that was passed for the Port City project, which would attract prospective Japanese investors to Sri Lanka. The minister also communicated about working on a limited trade agreement to promote trade between our two friendly nations. The two ministers agreed to improve the business environment, especially for enterprises willing to invest in a sustainable development goal. It was agreed to have a parliamentarian delegation exchange program between the two countries to celebrate 70 years of diplomatic relations.
The Presidential Media Division will commence activities tomorrow. The objective of this division is to present accurate information to the general public on the manner the programs are being implemented, as mentioned in the Saubhagya Dakma policy statement. The Saubhagya Dakma policy statement of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa illustrates on a clear mass media policy. It includes statements pertaining to providing correct information for the people to take political, economic and social decisions. The Presidential Media Division will function as a center to disseminate correct information on the government's program through coordination of state institutions and all ministries. Local and foreign media personnel are being provided relevant facilities, and they also could participate in the media briefings conducted by the PMD. President's media spokesman Kingsley Ratnakar said that the President has disclosed the main objective of the setting up of Presidential Media Division through the Saubhagya Dakma policy statement, which was his election manifesto. He has elaborated on his policy pertaining to mass media. The President has stated that the people will be granted the right to gain access to correct information and also on the government decision on economic, social and political issues via mass media. He added that was why the people have given a mandate to the President. The Presidential Media Division will function as a location to unveil the methodology of fulfilling the pledges of the President. Director General of Presidential Media Division Sudeva Hettiarati said that the Media Division will present the massive process to be implemented through the Saubhagya Dakma policy statement in a new model. He has also expressed hope that the new program would enable Sri Lankan public to properly understand the actual happenings taking place in the country and to effectively sort out true facts from false information propagated by numerous groups.
The child, Jeevanta Ratnayaka of Kalubollegama in Galenbinduruvavu, has been able to restore his vision on the intervention of Madam Shiranthi Wickramasinghe Rajapaksa. The child has met Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Temple Trees this morning. Mr. Rohitha Rajapaksa has witnessed the cries of 13-year-old Jeevanta requesting an eye. Upon enlightening his mother about this, the child was brought to Colombo for treatment. The specialist medical recommendations were that the child could be provided vision with an eye transplant. Accordingly, the operation has commenced with Madam Rajapaksa bearing the expenses. The father of the child, A. Sugatapala, has also accompanied the child to the Temple Trees.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has arrived at the Tapowana Meditation Centre in Kalapaluava, Rajagiriya, and called upon newly appointed Mahanayaka of the Sri Lanka Amarapura Nikaya Agga Mahapandita, Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Thero. The Prime Minister has offered Atapirikara to the Mahanayaka Thero and inquired his well-being. The Mahanayaka Thero has delivered a brief anusasana to the Prime Minister. Mahanayaka of the Sri Lanka Amarapura Nikaya Agga Mahapandita, Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Thero, said that they are extremely pleased as the Mahasangha on the arrival of the Prime Minister to the centre. He added that the Mahasangha is extremely happy over the Prime Minister's attitude towards them. He added that this was a heritage inherited from the parents of the Prime Minister. The Mahanayaka Thero added that some of the parents of the bhikkhus ordained in the Sasana do not have proper homes. The Mahanayaka Thero has recalled with gratitude the assistance provided by the government to construct houses to such needy parents. Registrar of the Sri Lanka Amarapura Sangha Sabha and Anunayaka of the Vajravasana sector, as well as the Chief Sanghanayaka of Russia, Venerable Professor Pallekande Ratnasara Thera, was among the Mahasangha attended the event.
OIC of the Diagama Police Station Sujeeva Gunatilaka says that the body of the 16-year-old domestic servant at the residence of the parliamentarian Rishad Baduddin is scheduled to be exhumed on the 30th of this month. Statements have been recorded in Diagama yesterday from 11 persons who had previously served in the residence of Rishad Baduddin. Strong police protection has been deployed on the location where the body of the child Ishalini is buried. The courts have ordered recently to unearth the remains and to conduct a special post-mortem.
Lanka police conducting further investigation into the death of 16-year-old girl, a domestic servant of ex-minister Richard Badurdin's residence, and we have recorded approximately 36 statements in respect of the incident at the moment, and 2 police teams have been sent to Diagam area yesterday, and they are recording a statement from the women who served as domestic servants at the residence of ex-minister Richard Badurdin. According to the investigation, it has been revealed that the trafficker had brought 11 women from Diagam area to the residence of ex-minister Richard Badurdin to serve as domestic servants time to time. We are going to trace all the women and we are going to record their statements. On one hand, we are conducting investigation into the death of the 16-year-old girl. In addition to that, we are conducting investigation into the contents of the post-mortem report, and in addition to that, the offence of cruelty to children. In addition to that, it was revealed that some girls or women who served as domestic servants at the residence of ex-minister Richard Badurdin had been exploited by various parties. So therefore, we are conducting separate investigations into such incidents, and further investigations are being continued. In addition to that, court has informed the Director General Health Services to appoint a 3-member panel in order to conduct a post-mortem again, and accordingly the body would be exhumed in the near future. Further investigations are underway.
An agitation has been conducted at the Madulkale plantation in Panvila, Wattegama, demanding to grant justice to the miner who died while engaged in service at Richard Badurdin's house. Another protest was conducted by the plantation workers at the Great Western Plantation in Talvakale, urging for an impartial inquiry into the death of Ishalini. Politicians and civil organization representatives have expressed opinion today as well as on the demise of child Ishalini. Meanwhile, a media briefing was conducted at the Government Information Department today to enlighten the relevant groups on child employment and domestic violence. Another satyagraha was conducted at the Independence Square in Colombo this afternoon, requesting to grant justice to child Ishalini. The event has been organized by the Vijay Baha Parapura of the Youth Front of the Pivituru Hela Urumaya.
Former Sri Lankan ambassador in the Russian Federation, Udayanga Weeratunga, says that restrictions on foreign tourists to enter Sri Lanka should be removed. He made these remarks at a discussion of the Department of Government Information yesterday. Former Sri Lankan ambassador in the Russian Federation, Udayanga Weeratunga, said that even after the war in year 2009, on arrivals visas had been provided. However, provisions of such permits has now been halted. Today, 3 working days are needed to receive a visa to arrive in Sri Lanka. He added that the corona pandemic does not apply to the visa. Udayanga Weeratunga further said that this barrier enforced on the tourism sector should be withdrawn. If that happens, the arrival of tourists will take place by August or September. He added that from the month of October, Sri Lanka would be able to attract tourists from European countries other than Russia during the winter season. Well-known actress of England, Amanda Jacqueline, has arrived in the island last evening to engage in shootings in a new teledrama series titled The Good Karma Hospital. She would appear in scenes in the 4th episode of this popular TV series. Amanda Jacqueline is expected to stay in the island for a period of around 3.5 months.
That's all the news for today. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.